everyone, and welcome to All Things STEM with Ashley. We are super excited to have Piper here today as our guest, and I'm your host, Ashley. Piper Daniels is a senior systems engineer in the aerospace industry. Piper graduated from the University of Alabama with a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering in 2019 and an MBA in 2020. While heavily involved in various organizations during college, Piper is still actively involved in her community today through initiatives such as Habitat for Humanity, Girls Inc., and Rebuilding Together. She serves as president of the Fort Worth Alumni Chapter, is a volunteer committee for her hometown of Grapevine, Texas, and is president of a club for her company's early career employees. So today, we want to welcome Piper.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashley.
Yes, thank you for coming today. So, just a little background before we get started. Me and Piper met here. We both are alumni from Alabama. And now we currently serve on the alumni chapter together. And she's the president, I'm her vice president. So we're super excited to get connected and to share her journey with you today.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Y'all know it's always Roll Tide with me. So Piper, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in STEM and what intrigued you to get interested in STEM in your journey.
Yeah, so I have always been really passionate about aircraft. So aerospace engineer, you mentioned that. I grew up going to air shows with my dad and some other family friends, and just always really loved watching the aircraft take off, and that like sound that you get, that you feel in your chest. I've always enjoyed that. I also always loved to travel, so commercial or jets, whatever it is, I've always enjoyed it. So when I was in high school, I was really good at physics and math, and I had started taking some community college classes over the summers to go try and get ahead in math, get some credits out of the way that I wouldn't have to go pay for later in college. And I really found that was where I excelled. So I tried to combine my passions, which were aviation, and the things that I was really good at, and researching what that would be and finding out that aerospace engineers get paid pretty well. That helps too. So I ended up in a career with aerospace.
Excellent, Piper. Thank you.
Of course.
Can you share any role models or mentors who have influenced your journey in STEM?
Yes, so my physics teacher, my senior year of high school, he was a really big mentor for me, was always really advocating for women in STEM and for people who really want to do the work, right? You have people who kind of skate by through high school and even in college, and he was really good at recognizing people who are willing to go the extra mile, stay after school, talk to the teachers and ensure that they understand things. And he really pushed for me to go pursue a career in STEM and gave me that motivation to know that, okay, I can go do it. Not, well, maybe I want to apply, but I might not get it. I never felt like I was scared to go and push myself to do it. So it was really nice having that extra motivation.
That's excellent. Next, I want to ask, were there any challenges you faced growing up that made pursuing a STEM career difficult?
So I was really blessed. I have two parents that are still married today. I am an only child. I grew up in a pretty affluent community in North Texas, and I am not blind to the fact that I would say that I am pretty privileged in the things that I've gotten in my life and in the school districts that I grew up in. And I recognize that there were a lot of ways that I was given opportunities that not a lot of other people have received. So to say that I've had a challenge, I think, is unfair to people who really have had that challenge, right? You know, school is hard, and it's difficult to find time when you're involved in different things to go and take the time to sit and do homework and really push yourself to do a little bit extra when you're spread thin. But I think really when it comes to what challenges I experienced, it wasn't that there were roadblocks in the way keeping me from doing it. If anything, it was just time. You have enough time to go and do everything. So it's hard to say that I really felt like I had any roadblocks to my success and where I've been. I certainly recognize that there have been a lot of those for other people, and I try to lean on the fact that I have the ability now in my place to go and help other people and get rid of the roadblocks that they have, because I recognize the fact that I was privileged in not having those, and I want to take those down for other people too.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Piper, could you please explain what aerospace engineering is for those that are watching?
Yeah, definitely. So again, I always had a passion for aviation, and I think we all know that there's airplanes involved when it comes to aerospace engineering, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is that has to do with a lot of the aerodynamics of things too. When I sat down at Alabama and they discussed some of the career opportunities for aerospace, I remember one of the most interesting ones to me, and I'm a big sports fanatic, but they talked about the dimples on a golf ball. They were like, yeah, I mean, you have to actually design those to be aerodynamic. And when you think about Pro V1 golf ball, like those are top of the line. There's a way that those were engineered to go and perform better when they're flying through the air.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you're not hitting them into the woods like me. So I do think it's really interesting to see that there are a lot of the aerodynamics that we think about, from cars to aircraft to rockets. I mean, aerospace engineering has a big variety of things that you can really do with it, but really thinking about airflow over something and how that is interacting with what that something is, right? So even if it's a bat that somebody's swinging, or you know, like I said, a golf ball, but also other things that are anything going through the air. So it's interesting to go and have that kind of study. I mean, even if you're into more of the biology side of things, aerospace engineering could be applied to even birds and studying flight and wings like that. So a lot of opportunity there.
Excellent, Piper. Yeah. Thank you. I want to ask, what's one project or accomplishment that you're particularly proud of in your STEM career or your journey? It can be high school, college, now. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think that I can share this with you. So recently I was recognized as an 18 under 31 award recipient for the University of Alabama. It's a Distinguished Young Alumni Award. I did not know about this award for the longest time, and then I saw this one over here won this award. So I have always looked up to and admired Ashley, even from afar before she knew I existed. I've always been a fan.
Oh, you're so sweet.
So I think that is a really big honor to see a very, very talented list of a lot of other young alumni from Alabama, and all the accomplishments that they've had, that you've had.
Thank you.
And to think that I can be recognized as one of those people too. I'm not going to say it's imposter syndrome, because I know I've worked really hard for the things that I've done, and I'm really proud of those things.
Excellent.
But to have that opportunity to be proud of myself and know that, wow, I'm somebody who's looked at as this huge group of amazing alumni, and to think I'm a part of that is something I'm really personally very proud of, from both a philanthropic standpoint, but also an impact on industry standpoint too.
Yes, wonderful. Congratulations again.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. So next I want to ask, how does aerospace engineering interact with other disciplines such as computer science, mechanical engineering, or civil engineering?
Sure, yeah. So my specific area of focus that I have is design engineering, and I do that for environmental control systems on the platform that I support. So my specific system works a lot with installation, so that's working with structures that may be somewhat related to civil if somebody was interested in that, but also more mechanical engineering of something that is rigid and provides support, including my system, which is something that is more fluid mechanical and cooling to different systems that maybe are electronic, so electrical engineers. So I think that there's, honestly, my role that I do today is maybe a little bit more mechanical engineering focused.
That's good,
because it's not the externals of an aircraft, it's not airflow over anything. Mine is more fluid mechanical and cooling properties. So there are a lot of interconnected pieces of that, and when you think of owning a system that is electronically controlled as well, so of course electrical engineering comes into play, but you have software that's written to go and support that, right? So working with a lot of people from computer science aspect and ensuring that what they're programming, which is not my forte, by the way, what they're programming is something that is going to turn out with what my expectations are as I'm designing the system. So there's a lot of integrated communication that's going on with people from a bunch of different disciplines.
That's excellent, Piper. And it's great that you said, like, even though you have an aerospace degree, you can utilize it in multiple different ways. And so that's a key tip to understand. When you're looking into aerospace, you can use it for a lot of different things.
Yeah. And other degrees too. I mean,
Yes.
if you are in mechanical, you can end up in aerospace, or
Yes.
if you have the background when you're doing any sort of STEM degree and you think, wow, I'm really enjoying programming, if you do it on the side when you're at home and it's just like an extracurricular, that's still something you can include on a resume and something that you can go and apply for a job, even if it's not your degreed subject.
Yes, I agree. That's why I picked metallurgical. So metallurgical material science, I can work in aerospace industry, car manufacturing, even things like prosthetics in the hospital, Rubbermaid, like Tupperware. Like, we can work at anything without having to get another degree. And so that's one thing that's cool about engineering. So check that out when you're researching what you want to do. I talked about it a little earlier, how aerospace engineering is a broad field. Could you please tell us some different career paths within aerospace engineering that people might not be aware of?
Yeah, definitely. So, like you said, I touched on it a little bit earlier, definitely a lot in the sport department. But if you kind of combine sports and the automotive industry, you get what is now really popular in F1. I mean, you think NASCAR, IndyCar, but F1 with Netflix has been kind of a lot recently and getting all the views. So that is an area where a lot of people have been going to. Like I said earlier, I mean, I was really passionate about just aviation in general and then was really good at physics. Well, now people who are really into cars and F1, well, if they're really good in the physics and mathematics department, okay, now you get to go build F1 cars. So just a really interesting kind of area to go and take it and spin it a little differently.
Thanks, Piper. Next, I want to ask how you see the field of aerospace engineering evolving over the next 5 to 10 years. A lot of times we see a lot of model-based systems. We're seeing AI everywhere. How do you think aerospace will change with these new developments and things coming out?
Yeah, so we're really leaning into AI, that's for sure. And any company who isn't doing it already right now, they are behind the curve. So AI is going to take off exponentially, and the way that we are able to stay ahead from a technology standpoint, the people who are starting now are going to stay ahead. That is for sure. So if you start tomorrow, it's already too late. But never too late, I guess. So that
better
is
late than never, right?
Yeah, true. So that is something that I think is going to really transform all industries, not even just aerospace.
Right.
So that's an area where I think if people don't have a lot of knowledge in, go and learn a little bit more about it.
Harder.
Yeah, that will be the future, right? So, and it's on us to go and learn about that, right? You can't go put in Chat GPT and say, tell me more about AI or give me the knowledge of it and expect it to really tell you everything. There is a level of, we need to go and do that research on our own and figure out what does that really look like in the back end of it. So I do think that that is going to create a lot more opportunity for us in how quickly we're able to develop. And I think our technological advancements are going to start, for the lack of a better word, skyrocketing in the future.
Thanks, Piper.
Yeah.
So next I want to ask you, because you did pursue your MBA, what motivated you to pursue an MBA while already working in your field of your bachelor's of aerospace engineering?
Sure, yeah. So I was given a really unique opportunity, actually. The University of Alabama offers a STEM MBA program. So it's getting your undergraduate degree and then getting your MBA in 1/5 and final year. So I kind of describe it as like, okay, here's your undergrad and here's your MBA. You typically would do one after the other. And I got to overlap them. So my senior year was also my first year of my MBA program. So that was a really good opportunity for me. And I was able to utilize scholarship through my undergraduate degree for the first year of my MBA, and then received additional scholarships that I had applied to for that final year as well.
Very cool.
I just knew for me that being able to work, I really didn't want to have to go to school at night. I know myself well enough to know that I do need the downtime, or that I want to go assist in extracurricular activities, whether it's volunteering or organizations. I wanted to get through school and then say, okay, I'm done with it. So that's just my personal, I know that about myself, right? I knew if I started my career, it was really not an option for me to do school again. But I knew early on that I really wanted to be a leader. And I wanted to go help other people advance their careers later on. And so going into Alabama, knowing that I had this opportunity to do this 5-year program and knowing that I wanted to go into leadership eventually, it was really a no-brainer for me. And now that same STEM MBA program has been utilized for now Create Path MBA, so more of our liberal arts side of the college. And then we also have a lot of those programs available across the country now.
Yeah.
I think Texas Tech is the first one that started it, and then it went to Alabama, and now many places have it. So as much as I do want to promote the University of Alabama, I will say that there are a lot of colleges that offer that as well.
That's good. Thank you. And we'll be putting that in the show notes for anybody interested. I'll make sure I have a little snippet. Is there a website?
Yes, yeah.
I'll put that in there as well. So for anybody interested in doing like her with the STEM to MBA, you'll have the notes in the bottom. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I want to ask, well, you already did your MBA, but even now in the workplace, you do have work and personal life and social life and personal development. How do you balance work, personal life, and different things to manage the workload?
It's a great question. The question implies that I do a good job at it. I don't know that I've mastered it yet. It's always going to be a continued effort, right?
Yeah.
The juggling will continue.
Right.
I will happily admit that I do not sleep a lot. I am blessed as somebody who can manage 5 hours of sleep, and I am okay with that.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends, I need 7 or more hours, and that's just where their priorities lay. And I think knowing where your priorities are is really key. There's a lot of things that I am certainly willing to go put my time and effort into, and things that I've just learned I have to be able to say no.
Yes.
I know you and I have discussed before, saying no is not always the easiest thing to do when there's so many fantastic opportunities. But if it ever helps to go and write them down and really prioritize those things that matter to you, and even bucketing them, right? Like I have my career, I have my personal life, I have alumni association, and ensuring that you're balancing the opportunities that you're given and ensuring that you're not forgetting one of them, of the things that are important to you. So it is a challenge. It's something that I do still struggle with daily, but being willing to say no is certainly the biggest key to being able to balance things well, is understanding that you really cannot do all of them.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Next, I wanted to ask, how does your current job complement the concepts you learned in your MBA program?
Yeah, so I think that everybody is a leader. You can lead from your seat. You don't have to be a leader with a title of manager to go and be a leader, right?
Correct.
You can always reach across and help other people. You can lead in your community. You can lead with your friends and family. And so I think a daily driver, my MBA has been a huge help, even if it's, this is how I communicate with people. This is how I present myself in an interview. This is how I fill out my resume. There's a lot more to getting an MBA. That was a lot of like personal skill sets, I think, that I learned. And I will also add that getting an MBA helps you a lot with finances. We talked earlier about how I just bought my first house and understanding, how do you apply for a loan? What are the implications of that? If I add a year onto my loan, what is that going to look like from a month-to-month payment? There are a lot of, I won't even really call them soft skills, but life skills that an MBA teaches you. So I am a big fan of going and getting an MBA regardless of what you want to do. If you have the bandwidth and if you have the support system, whether that's from an emotional standpoint or from a financial standpoint, if you have the ability to do it, I strongly urge you to do it.
Thank you. I want to ask, how do you envision your master's degree influencing your long-term career path? So do you want leadership, or like you said, you can use it at any point in time in your career? What is your long-term goal with that?
Sure. So I do eventually want to get into executive leadership. That is my end goal. I like to think that I'm pretty personable. I like to think that I'm approachable, and I want to be able to help the most people I can possible. And as a part of that, I think it means a lot to be able to have that direct interface with your customer as well.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what field or organization or company that is, it means a lot to be able to see people use your product and be able to get the benefit of it. And sometimes when you are in an individual contributor seat, it is difficult to see what is the impact that I'm really having. Not that you have any less of an impact, but the visibility to that is a little bit strained. I think when you are in a leadership role, within big corporations especially, you have a lot more visibility into how am I helping somebody else, regardless of what that looks like. And I get a lot of motivation from that.
Yes.
It's something that drives me to do better, and to help a team do better too. And I think that that is something that I would really like to get towards, to go in and make a bigger impact for end user of products, but also the team that I have, and motivating them to do better for the end user of the products.
Yes, thank you. Next, I would ask, what advice would you give to someone considering to pursue an MBA while working full-time versus doing it right after like you did?
Sure. So I would really say weigh what your priorities are, right? And understand where you are at your point in time in life. Especially for women in a career.
Yes.
If you want to have kids, that's something that's taken into account. If you are even in a serious relationship and you're thinking about getting married, thinking about, okay, do I want a big wedding that takes a lot of planning, or am I going to go elope, right?
Right.
There's a lot of time that goes into things like that. Even like I said, buying a house, that took a lot of time away from me.
Yeah.
And there are things that I think people don't really quite prepare you for, when it comes to the level of commitment that you have to have on just life activities. And things can happen at any point in time, and it's important to understand that even if you start an MBA program in your career, it's not like you have to go and finish it immediately. You can do a semester, take a semester off, and then go back. And sometimes that's necessary, right? My dad got in a car accident when he was going to go to college, and that kind of derailed his plans a little bit from what he was originally going to do. And it's important to not give up on the things that you want to do, keep on working forward, but understand that there's a level of flexibility that's required. So
is your dad okay?
Yeah, he's good. It was really just the car and having to pay for it. So that was more of a monetary thing. But I mean, those monetary things happen, and they can happen to anyone, right? It doesn't have to be your fault. You could have a tornado come through and take your house tomorrow. And it's things that you just have to be prepared for, that aren't always expected. So I wanted to get the MBA out of my way because it takes out a lot of that risk that I just wasn't super comfortable taking. I was engaged whenever I graduated college. I had gotten out of that engagement actually and had moved back to Fort Worth. Just a lot of different life things that happened. Thought about buying a house, ended up backing out of it. There's a lot of unknown and kind of back and forth and things that happen in your life that aren't always like the white picket fence of what you expect, right? And that is okay. I am very happy with where I have ended up, and I'm very happy with the journey that I've taken to get here, but being willing to take that journey is important, and understanding the risk you want to take.
Right.
So when I was engaged and I had thought, well, I don't want to have to go and plan a wedding and while going into a career and while doing school afterwards, and if I want to try to have kids, and it was so much that was going on. So I thought, well, I'll get the MBA out of the way. It gets one thing out of it, right? So I'm still glad I did it, even if I was not in the position where I was thinking about, okay, am I going to get married and have kids? I still am very glad that I did it and would recommend it to others. But if you're past that point and you're in your career already, or you're thinking, I just need to start working and go and make money so that I can maybe have a company pay for my MBA, which a lot do, or I'm willing to go and get my career and start getting a paycheck, but then go to school afterwards. So much is reliant on you and what you're able to do, and the risks that you're willing to take, right? So just a lot to take into account from like a personal aspect of your bandwidth and time that you have.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, of
You
course.
shared a whole testimony.
Girl.
So I want to go back to young women and, like you said, giving back. What advice would you give to young women considering a career in STEM or other interests? And you already spoke about the balance. You just spoke about, because I was going to ask if they're unsure about balancing it with personal life, other interests and things. But what advice would you give to a young woman considering a career in STEM? So like your high school self or middle school self.
Understand that you are going to be your own biggest advocate. So There is not a man that you need by your side to go and speak up for you and go and stand on his shoulders. You can stand on your own shoulders, on your own 2 feet, and be there for yourself. And I think that that's something that a lot of women right now aren't as motivated to go and do. And I want to be sure that we are building that foundation for people to know you have a voice. That voice matters regardless of what it is that you are saying. It should be heard, and you need to speak up for yourself and be willing to do it. And I think it's important for us to give a platform to people to be able to speak up and be able to have their voice heard, and to continue to recognize that in places you can speak up, like we have done, right? And we both vouch for ourselves often, and it's important for us to be able to tell other people that they can do the same and build that self-confidence in someone else. So don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do anything. And when they do, because it will happen, prove them wrong.
Yes. The path won't be linear, but you will make it.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you, Piper. So, what is the best piece of career advice you've received so far, and how has it shaped your path?
Yeah, my best piece of career advice was network. We've heard it a lot throughout college, and you hear it a lot in your career, but really being sure to network and being intentional about your networking. So don't just go out and meet a bunch of people, right? Follow up. Be sure that you're adding people on LinkedIn, that you are getting people's contact information, sending thank you notes where you can. Handwritten thank you notes go a really, really long way with people, and not a lot of people do it anymore. So that's an easy way to go and be sure that people remember your name. And then always be sure when you are meeting people, parrot their name a lot. So be sure that you can remember their name, and saying it when you are in conversation with them will help you remember it. And it means a lot to them, right? People want to know that you remember who they are, right? So be intentional about it. Don't just go out and meet people for the sake of meeting people. Be mindful about it, and be sure to have that purpose when you are doing it, and follow through afterwards too, to be sure that they remember you.
Yes, thank you. Next, I wanted to ask about looking back. Is there anything you would have done differently in your STEM journey?
No, I would not change a thing. I think there's so much that we could probably sit here and overanalyze of would it have been better to do this? Should I have gone to a different school? And if I had done anything differently, I would not be where I am at right now.
I 100% agree.
Yep. So I think it's important to not go and second guess yourself. When you are all in on something, be all in. Do it to the best of your ability, and don't regret it. Don't have regrets in your life.
And the good thing about that is we handled situations the way we knew how at that time. And through going through different things, that's how we get our wisdom. That's how we learn from our mistakes, or learn from different things that we wish we had known. And then, like you said, we can just pass it forward to the people we help now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, very cool. Next, I wanted to ask, how have you been involved in any initiatives or programs to encourage young women or underrepresented groups to pursue STEM fields?
Sure. So Girls Inc. is an organization that I've been a part of on different panels and different volunteering opportunities within Tarrant County. That is an organization that works with women in the area and helps them be the best version of themselves that they can be, and set themselves up for success in a career in the future. So that's not unique to STEM, but of course, through my biased lens, I will always push STEM. But it is setting them up to have all of the skills that they need moving forward, right? I've also been involved in a bunch of just general STEM activities, whether it be robotics competitions or career fairs or that kind of thing. And that's more generalized, but I think regardless of where you are volunteering or what outreach you're doing, you can usually recognize when somebody needs a little extra support. Or if you see a woman at a robotics competition and you recognize, okay, there may be a minority group here that I can go and tell someone, okay, you look like me. If you can see yourself in me, let me go represent that for you and show you that if you want to do this, you can. And just being sure that they know that that possibility is out there, not necessarily forcing it or saying this is the best option, right? Maybe that person doesn't want to be involved, and that's okay. But just giving them that opportunity to see, okay, there's someone that I can look up to as a role model who's doing this now, and I identify with that, and I see myself in them.
I love it. I love it. So, Piper, I am huge on giving tips for success on each episode to just, share what we may have learned that can help someone else. Yeah. So I want to ask you, what are 3 tips for success in navigating the STEM industry? And that goes for your whole journey.
Sure.
Any part.
Yeah, so I will say my tips probably aren't unique to STEM, but
That's
with
okay.
a biased view, I mean, obviously I want you guys to use them in the STEM field and go and promote us, right? But I think the biggest thing for me is don't get comfortable. And that's in all aspects of life, right? If you are too comfortable, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. And it's important for us to keep challenging ourselves and growing and continuing to do more. And if you feel like you're getting bored or feel like you're just like a level of complacency almost, do something else.
Yeah.
Go reach out, do outreach, go and figure out how you can get involved in the community and organization, or maybe that's the time to go change your career path and get a new role. So I would say number 1 is don't get comfortable. Yeah. Number 2 is continuous learning. So always be sure that you are learning more. We have so much that comes up with technology every single day, and there's always something that you can go and learn more about. So whether that is through reading articles, through watching YouTube videos, through meeting someone new and hearing their story, it doesn't even have to pertain specifically to what you do in your career. It could be, I want to learn how to go and replace a toilet today. Like things that are just important. I mean, changing tires, I probably should have gone to learn that one before I needed to do it. Things that are important for life skills, for you to further yourself, whatever it is, keep learning something. Yeah. And then my third one is to always speak up for yourself. So whether that is, I'm going to speak up transparently about something that I've seen and that maybe I feel a little bit uncomfortable about, vouching for yourself in that, and validating your own discomfort that you may have, or asking for help. If you need help, go and ask for it. People are going to assume that you're off to the races and doing your own thing unless you speak up and ask for that help. Or representing yourself in a positive light and saying, I think that I could do this maybe better than somebody else is doing it. Vouch for yourself, vouch for your skill set and what you can bring to the table. And a part of that speaking up is also showing up, right? So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. You have to be there at the table to speak up for yourself at the table too. So always be sure to vocalize your thoughts transparently and openly, ask for that help, but also vouch for what you can bring.
Excellent tips. Wonderful tips. Write those down. My last question for you today is, what is next for you in your career and what do you hope to achieve in the future, Piper?
Sure. So I think next I would like to go take a formal leadership role. Okay. I've mentioned before, I think leading from your seat is really important, and I continue to do that, but I think doing it in a more formal way is in the cards for me up soon. So hoping that I get the opportunity to do that. I also think that I would really like to just help other people generally. I think being here is one of those steps, and I think ensuring that other people can have the same opportunities that I've had. And maybe some people feel like they don't right now, and my goal is to help achieve breaking down some of those barriers in the future for them, and recognizing that, like I said before, I really didn't have a lot of those barriers myself, but I see that a lot of other people do, and trying to remove those out of the way and giving a place for people to go and have a seat at the table. I think it's nice for us to have people speak, but they've got to show up, and then they've got to have a seat waiting for them too. So giving people a seat at the table and helping bring people to that same playing field, I think.
Thank you, Piper. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on All Things STEM with Ashley. Everyone tuning in, please make sure to like and subscribe and watch all future episodes. And definitely check out Piper. We'll have some information about her below. And thanks for coming.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Ashley.
Yes. Bye.